What happens when three titans of WWE, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk, collide in a triple threat match? At WrestleMania 41, this question was answered in a bout that combined personal vendettas, high-stakes drama, and shocking betrayals. The match was not just a contest for supremacy but a culmination of years of intertwined histories and rivalries. From the opening bell, the atmosphere was electric. Reigns, embodying his tribal chief persona, immediately asserted dominance with a thunderous Superman punch to Rollins. Punk, ever the opportunist, capitalized on the momentary distraction, launching a suicide dive that sent Reigns crashing into the barricade. Rollins, recovering swiftly, executed a top-rope crossbody onto both opponents outside the ring, igniting the crowd. The early minutes were a whirlwind of action. Punk's high-flying maneuvers contrasted with Reigns' brute strength, while Rollins' agility kept both adversaries on their toes. The dynamic was unpredictable, with alliances forming and dissolving in seconds, reflecting the complex relationships among the trio. The match's intensity was amplified by the storied past between the competitors. Once united in the Shield, Reigns and Rollins had since become bitter rivals. Punk's history with both men added another layer of complexity. He had mentored the Shield in their early days, only to later find himself at odds with them. Paul Heyman's involvement further muddied the waters. Once a trusted advisor to Punk, he had also aligned with Reigns in recent years. The Sun, too. Throughout the match, these histories played out physically and psychologically. Reigns and Rollins exchanged knowing glances and taunts, each move laced with years of betrayal and competition. Punk, fueled by a desire to reclaim his place at the top, fought with a ferocity that belied his years away from the main event scene. As the match progressed, the brutality escalated. Rollins delivered multiple buckle bombs, targeting Reigns' back and showcasing his relentless aggression. Punk attempted his signature go-to-sleep (GTS) on Rollins, only for Reigns to intercept with a devastating spear. The near-falls kept the audience on edge, each pin attempt met with gasps and cheers. A particularly dramatic moment occurred when the three men found themselves standing in a triangle, reminiscent of their days as the Shield. For a brief second, it seemed they might reunite, but the illusion shattered as Rollins struck first, attacking Reigns and igniting another flurry of combat. Facebook. 4. Paul Heyman's presence at ringside became increasingly conspicuous. His shifting expressions and subtle movements suggested internal conflict, hinting at a possible intervention. The climax of the match was as shocking as it was decisive. With all three competitors exhausted and the outcome uncertain, Heyman climbed onto the apron, distracting the referee. He slid a steel chair into the ring, seemingly offering it to Punk. As Punk reached for it, Heyman delivered a low blow, betraying his former protégé. Turning to Reigns, Heyman feigned allegiance, only to strike him as well. The arena erupted in disbelief as Heyman handed the chair to Rollins, who capitalized on the chaos, delivering a brutal curb stomp to Punk onto the chair. The referee counted the pinfall, and Rollins emerged victorious. In the aftermath, Rollins stood tall, flanked by Heyman, as the crowd reacted with a mix of awe and outrage. Punk and Reigns lay battered, their expressions a mix of pain and betrayal. The commentary team speculated on the implications of Heyman's actions, questioning his motives and the future dynamics within WWE. The Sun, too. The broadcast concluded with cryptic teasers, phrases like "Final Boss Fight," "Next Movie," "Finals 24," and "Rumory Street Fighter" flashed across the screen, hinting at future storylines and rivalries that would stem from this explosive encounter. This match was more than a contest. It was a narrative crescendo, blending athleticism with storytelling in a way that only WWE can. The betrayals and alliances formed and broken within the ring set the stage for future confrontations. As fans, we're left to ponder, what drives a man like Paul Heyman to betray those he once championed? How will Punk and Reigns respond to this treachery? And what does this mean for Rollins' place in the WWE hierarchy? Stay tuned, as the fallout from this match promises to reshape the landscape of WWE in the weeks and months to come. CM Punk's heated history with Seth Rollins, explained the Sportster. CM Punk betrayed by Paul Heyman in WWE WrestleMania 41 main event as manager aligns with Seth Rollins vs. Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman explains exactly why he turned on Roman Reigns and resentment, vengeance, and the rise of a new order. The silence following the final 3 count was more deafening than any chant. Roman Reigns, a man who'd built his legacy on dominance, lay motionless. His aura of invincibility shattered not by one opponent, but 2, and one of them supposedly his ally. CM Punk, ever the defiant warrior, stared blankly at the ceiling, the lights of the stadium flickering in his glassy eyes like dying stars. It wasn't just the pain, it was the realization that once again, the system had conspired to shut him out. Rollins didn't celebrate like a typical victor. No leaping onto turnbuckles, no flexing with the belt. He stood solemn, calculated. Paul Heyman stood beside him like a strategist surveying the battlefield. Not gloating but scheming. This wasn't the end of a war. It was the birth of a new regime. And the fans. They weren't sure whether to boo or cheer. This wasn't black and white. This was blood-stained gray. The Shield tease, real or bait. Earlier in the match, the Shield tease had electrified the arena. 3 fists, 3 faces, 1 past. For a fleeting moment, the image of unity flickered in the collective mind of the WWE Universe. But as Rollins lunged first, that illusion burned up in the furnace of reality. Was it ever going to happen? Could it have? Did they rehearse that stare-down? Or was it real tension that nearly spilled over into nostalgia? And here's the thing. Maybe that moment was meant to distract us. Fame. While everyone remembered the Shield, no one saw the knife Heyman was twisting behind the scenes. Heyman's betrayal. A masterstroke or mistake. Let's talk about Heyman. The man has backed champions, built empires, and burned them down when it suited him. Aligning with Rollins. That wasn't random. That was math. Strategy. He saw something in Rollins that screamed inevitable. Something more dangerous than Reigns' brute force or Punk's rebel fire. But here's the million-dollar question. Did Rollins manipulate Heyman, or did Heyman manipulate Rollins? It's easy to assume Heyman's in control, but Seth's no puppet. He's been burned by loyalty before. He watched Reigns steal the spotlight. He saw Punk walk out when things got tough. Maybe this time Rollins pulled the strings. And if so, what happens when Heyman's use runs out? CM Punk's perspective. The martyr again. Let's not forget what this meant for CM Punk. He didn't return to be anyone's stepping stone. This was supposed to be redemption. Closure.